Hi, welcome to Ecwid. We're excited to have you join us in building your new store. We have this video series, live chat, email, forums, phone onboarding appointments, and way more available to answer questions and get you going to that first sale and beyond. In this video, we're going to take a look at getting started with Ecwid, and we'll get an overview of what our platform has to offer. We won't be diving deep into anything here. Right now we're just going to see where things are and get comfortable with Ecwid in general. We'll be using the desktop version of Ecwid, of course, but we also have iOS and Android apps that you can download if you'd prefer to get started on your mobile device. You'll find Ecwid's website, of course, at www.ecwid.com, and from there, to register with an account for us, you can either click this big Get Started button or sign up. And here we're going to ask you for some basic information. Your full name, your email address, and then of course you'll need a password. Notice you can also sign up using Facebook, Google, or PayPal, but we're going to do things the manual way here. And then of course, click Set up your store. And then to finish registering, please complete a few demographic questions so we can get to know a little more about you and your business needs. We use this information to highlight helpful features and share information about your industry. Do note that your questions might look slightly different from what you see here. This is what your dashboard will look like the first time you log in on a desktop or laptop. We have mobile versions as well, but we're going to demo this on the widescreen version. Note, the onboarding wizard here is available to help guide new users through the setup process, but that's very straightforward, and we're going to do things manually and dig a little bit deeper. Also note that as a software as a service platform, we are constantly releasing new improvements, so don't worry if your dashboard looks a little different from what you see here. That just means you're using an upgraded version. And at this point in the process, you will see a much lower percentage here on your dashboard. Don't worry about that. That's because you're just getting started and I've done a few things already. So over here, we see all of our menu items to set up and customize our store. We're not going to look at all of these right now, but instead we're going to let you explore and fill these in on your own, since most are either very easy or are covered in more detail in later videos. But for now, know that this is where you go to manage your store. For example, we'll take a quick look at just a few things. If we click on Settings, we have our general information for our store. We can click on Formats and Units and change our currency and things like that. And Catalog is where we would go to create new products. At this point, let's look at how to set up a starter site, a one-page Ecwid hosted option for your website that will get you selling the fastest. We find our starter site settings at Settings, General, Starter Site. Here you can customize the URL for your store on ecwid.com, and you can also upload your store's logo. This is great for users who don't know how to build a website or who aren't interested in building a website and just want an easy place to start their store. We're not going to go deep into this because, again, this is just an overview right now, but you can click Edit Starter Site to play around with the look of your site. And if you scroll down a bit, you can change your URL by clicking this button and typing in the subdomain you want to use on ecwid.com. If you do host your store here on Ecwid, then you'll just want to copy your starter site URL, go back to your store profile, paste that in, and you want to include the http:// and then just click Save. If you're embedding your store on another website that you're running or on Facebook, then just put that URL here instead. Now let's take a quick glance at the rest of the Ecwid dashboard and at what you would see on a normal day. My Sales is where you find information regarding the sales that have taken place on your store. Before we go any farther, do note that our connection to these pages is secure. You can tell that by looking up here in the address bar, and when you see HTTPS here, as opposed to just HTTP, that means your connection to the page is encrypted. This is true not just for our sales information, but for any page you access in your Ecwid dashboard. Take special note of orders, which is where it will take you by default, and customers here. Orders is, of course, all the orders that have taken place on your store. Once you actually have orders on your store, you'll see them here. This is where you would check for new sales and to process and ship existing orders. Customers lists the customers that have made purchases from your store. Now let's look at the catalog menu item. This is where you do much of the most important work on your site, creating products and product categories, as well as updating inventory and prices. Here you can see under Catalog and Products, we have the New Product button. We also have a list of all of our current products. Currently it's populated by default with a bunch of sample products, so we can kind of take a look at these and see how they work in general. And then over here, you can configure your store's categories and product types in their respective sections. Next, we'll look at promotions. Under promotions, you can create and configure coupons and discounts for your store. Here you can also set things up to sell on Facebook, as well as on eBay and other marketplaces. You can also connect to Google Shopping, AdWords marketing, and Facebook dynamic ads for ads using your product photos. And you can enable PayPal credit financing for users making purchases at your store. Finally, you can find information about the Ecwid app, which you can use to manage your store from your mobile device. If you're using our free plan, there is a free 2-week trial for our mobile app, which includes full functionality. As we saw earlier, if we click on Sales Channels, here we can do things like set up our store on our Facebook page and embed our store onto another website that we're running. Then there's Settings. Settings is where the bulk of the non-product aspects of your store are set up. We've already seen the General page, but you'll also use this part of the dashboard to configure the type of shipping you want to make available to your customers, your tax settings, the ways you'll accept payment, the visual design of your store, your email notifications to customers and store administrators such as yourself, your invoices, your social network integrations, and point of sale settings to integrate your online store with your brick and mortar presence if you have one. Finally, if we click on Apps, we'll find Ecwid's App Market, where you can find both free and paid tools that allow you to extend the functionality of your Ecwid store to do additional things like incorporate a live chat system into your store, expand shipping and fulfillment options, and all sorts of other helpful tools. There are a lot of options when it comes to setting up and customizing your Ecwid store so that you can have maximum flexibility in configuring the way you want your store to work. Don't let these options intimidate you. Throughout this tutorial, we're going to take a look at most of these parts of the dashboard so that you can have a thorough understanding of how to use Ecwid to create the best shopping experience for your customers.